Welcome everybody to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We've got the two groups coming your way as per usual. Group 1, on your left, Alex Albon, Ollie Bearman and Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, Ollie, can we start with about this track that ensures you do go as well as you do?
Well, I'm not speaking ahead of time, but in F2 it went pretty well for us. I think we had a really good car here, and okay, F1 wasn't as good, but still it was a debut which was amazing. And yeah, of course, Australia was really difficult, but we turned it around pretty quickly and brought a small upgrade to the car, which allowed us to run it more in the window that we want to, and now we're able to extract a lot of performance out of it, which is nice.
A lot of performance. So what is possible this weekend?
Who knows? We came to Suzuka not expecting much because of the nature of the track, and we were in Q3 and scored points. Bahrain, I was not really sure what we could achieve because we hadn't done much low fuel there. But you know, without Esteban's problem, I think he could have been in Q3. And then again, it's the same. I'm still thinking of Australia a little bit in the back of my mind, but I know that we can have a good weekend. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, no predictions.
All right. Well, very good luck with that. Thank you, Ollie. Let's come to Alex now. Big picture stuff, first of all. Haas have snuck ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship. Just how do you see the lay of the land in the midfield at the moment?
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think after Melbourne would have ever said that Haas were going to be in the mix, and then they came back very strongly. So it seems like they've obviously designed their car and focused on their race car quite a lot, and it seems to be paying off for them. I think in many ways, last week we got a little bit unlucky with the safety car. I think we're on for a good points finish. But that's it. It's so close now, and I think that as a team we can reflect on the first 4 races that we've been very consistent. I think the gap to P1 has always been very similar. I think the other midfield teams are a little bit peakier, and they have they can score good points, but not every time. I think for us, we realistically should have had 4 points finishes in 4 races. So let's see. I think we just got to keep doing our job and hoping that we can just do everything a little bit better than everyone else.
Alex, how much personal satisfaction are you taking from this season? As you say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but 4 points finishes in a row was possible. It feels very different to any of your previous seasons in Formula One. How much satisfaction does that give you?
Yeah, honestly, yes. It's been a really strong start to the season for us, and we felt good in the car. From the first lap, we drove in the shakedown at Silverstone. It's given us a good feeling. Every race you go in, not knowing where you're going to come out, and it's been the most enjoyable so far season of Formula One for me.
There's another variable this year. Pirelli have gone one step softer on the compounds, the tyre compounds. Do you expect that to cause any issues?
It will be interesting. I think that they are soft, and we've seen in the past that sometimes the very soft tyres are a little bit different the way that they feel in high-speed corners. And this weekend is definitely a high-speed track. So it will be interesting to know how we can get the C5s working this weekend. I think, as it has been every year, every weekend so far, the tyres are very sensitive, and if you can get them in the right window, it's the difference maker. I think all the cars now in the midfield are so close together that if you're in that right window, that's Q3.
All right. Well, best of luck. Thank you very much, Alex and Gabriel. Let's come to you now. First of all, on the back of a slightly difficult weekend in Bahrain, what were the take-home messages for you from the last race?
Well, I think it was a tough weekend. Definitely in the race, I got a bit stuck behind Stroll at the last stint after the safety car and couldn't get past, even if I felt that I had more pace. Just super difficult. But yeah, I mean, just another race weekend. It's the beginning of my season. There's a lot of things that we took as a learning from my side, from the team side as well. And yeah, now we try to apply everything in here.
both you and Nico Hulkenberg have spoken about the difficulties of passing cars, even if you feel you have more pace. Why, or just describe what happens when you're driving in dirty air. How does the car feel?
Well, again, I've never driven any other Formula One car that is not a Sauber, you know, in a race or anything. Definitely dirty air is for everyone, but we seem to struggle, you know, quite a lot to overtake. And when we get too close to people, you know, it just feels that you lose a lot of aerodynamics and everything, downforce. So it's just tough, you know, because sometimes we feel that we have the pace. The pace is there, you know, it's probably not to score points yet, but we are working on that. But sometimes, you know, better at least than the guys we are around. And then as soon as we get close, just lose quite a lot of grip, and has been quite tough to overtake, to at least try a move, you know, to be side by side at the end of the straight, or even at a position that you can dive bomb. But, you know, last weekend was very tough because I was not even in that situation. So, yeah, just a shame, because I want to be fighting again for something, you know. I want to be fighting for overtakes and for positions, and so far this year has been very tough to not being able to do that, you know. Most of the times it's an undercut you do in the pit stop, or try to stay a bit long to try something different, but not really an overtake on track.
All right, well, look, best of luck this weekend. Let's now open this to the broadcasters. Who's going to go first, please? David, yeah.
Thanks, Tom. David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Afternoon, gentlemen. Question for Gabriel. Last in the championship, average starting position 17.3, I think it is, but you're a better driver than that, and your previous 2 seasons have proved it. How are you coping with having a season that is so different to your last couple of seasons, and what experience have you got to help you cope with differing positions on track to what you've been used to?
Well, I hope in FP1 I'm like you in the question, you know, like flat out. So, well, it's not easy. If I'm honest, it's not easy. You know, you come from 2 championships. You are used to, you know, being in this room, but actually after a race, you know, because you win or you are in the podium, and now for us it's already a mega job if you are going to Q2 or fighting for Q3. But, you know, there is always going to be someone paying this price at the beginning. If you see George Russell at the beginning of his Formula One career, I don't think he scored a point in his first season in Formula One or something like this. And now, you know, he's one of the best drivers in the grid and doing such a great job. And I wouldn't say fighting for the championship right now, but he's constantly in the podium or fighting for things. So it's all about having patience. There's nothing much I can do right now. Just learn, try to grow as a driver in these tough moments, and do a better job every race weekend, and yeah, get better, because I'm not fighting for points right now. That's the realistic situation, not me, not Nico. You know, Nico did a very good job in Australia when a messy race and managed to score points, but realistically in the last 3-4 rounds we have not been able to be there by pure pace. And what we need to do now is try to point the team in the right direction with the development of the car, because we saw last year with Sauber as well, you know, they were last through the whole year basically, and I think 1 upgrade or 2 upgrades they were back on fighting for Q3. So in this world I've learned something, that everything can happen, so we cannot give up.
Okay, next one, please. Thanks.
Yeah. Mariana Becker from TV Band. Gabriel, you just explained how tough it is for you mentally to keep on wanting, you know, and fighting even with the limitations of your car. Is there someone who gives you those tips? Because you haven't been in a situation like that before, and several, you know, more experienced driver, they did. Is there someone who talked to you, or even if it's not a driver, someone who would tell you you have to be patient or anything like this? And the second question is do you have any difference on the car here that would give you hope to have better position or to have a better understanding of the car?
Well, answering your first question, I don't speak with anyone, you know, outside of, you know, motorsport, just my family, and with some drivers I do speak, you know, and some of them have been through what I'm going through right now. Tough seasons, you know, not scoring points or struggling to do that. And yeah, you just need to have patience. But it's no news for me. It's not that I came to this season expecting to be fighting for podiums or points every race. You know, I knew what I was gonna go through, and I just needed to be strong and keep it up. And the team has been very clear with me since the beginning that that was our situation, and we just fight for it. And I know it is not nice to be in the situation we are, but it is what it is. That's life, I think. So yeah, and answer your second one. No, not that I know. You know, no difference. Just normal, and still we need to try to bring some good upgrades on the car, but not for this one.
Yeah, we are at the end of the press conference with Oli Bearman, Alex Albon, and Gabriel Bortoleto. As you asked from us to not to be interrupted on the press conferences, we are just going to try the new concept today. I will give my opinions at the end of the press conference. I want to start from Oliver Bearman. As the presenter said, he had beautiful performance at the last 3 races. He had the last 3 races. He gained a point for the Haas. As you know, the Haas was struggling a lot at the beginning of the season, and everyone was saying like the Haas maybe will be this year like a Sauber or the Stake Formula One team, but their last 3 races, their improvements of last 3 races, it's interesting. They did something on the car, or maybe they found a solution, and it's for their car, their problematic car. They just found any good setup that suits on Oliver Bearman, and also for Esteban Ocon. I believe that like in this race, I think also they will be at least at the Q2, but I think it will be a big surprise if they stays on the Q3, but we will see what will happen. But if you talk about Oli Bearman, he is just having like his best performance, and also, as you know, his first debut here was the before 12 months ago. He just drove the Ferrari, and he was struggling a lot physically on this track, but I hope he is ready for the Sunday's race. And if you talk about Alex Albon, as expected, they are performing very well, but they are making some, let's say, stupid mistakes by the team, or something is happening, and they are just ruining. They are ruining their races, and also his opinions about Oli Bearman and Haas was interesting, but he was so right, because no one was expecting Haas to be a competitor at the beginning of the season. No one was expecting from Haas to be competitor in the midfield, but just as I said, just they made a comeback, and they had some good points at the last 3 races. But as Williams, as I said on a lot of videos, they are just improving themselves. If they find, let's say, solution about those mistakes, or they are just if they be more careful, I think they will do, let's say, better job, and they will gain much more points, and maybe to have opportunity to fight with RBs. Like two of them are something with the same performance, but the RBs are looking one step ahead. And also, if you talk about Gabriel Bortoleto, he is a good driver. He has a lot of wins at the Formula 2, but he's unlucky to be at the Stake Formula 1 team. Like, I don't believe that they will gain a lot of points also this year, but their struggle will go until the end of the season, and I think also they know this. They think that they are going to struggle a lot, and let's say they are just fighting with everything, maybe to stay for the Q2 if they stay on Q3, I think for them that will be miracle. But on this track, I don't believe that will happen. If you have any comment to add, just don't forget to comment it on the video, like it, and subscribe to the channel.